game where Newport fans, 4. Yeah, we scored 4, didn't we? Not 3. Absolutely ignore me. I'm so focused on other things, I've just completely forgot the scoreline. So yeah, Newport. Let me start. Newport 2, Man United 3, 4. Fucking hell, did it again. Jesus Christ. A game where Newport fans are probably coming away happier, if I'm honest. They're probably happier with the performance and certain things they got out of their players rather than what we did. That's just my personal opinion. Poor decisions, missed chances, shocking to a certain level of degree in areas of the pitch. And to have that level of talent that we started with, which is almost our best team, arguably, and then putting that performance ain't great, in my opinion. But how did you see it, Sam?
Yeah, pretty much the same. First half, you thought, all right, there's a couple of chances there that we probably should be burying. The Garnacho one off the bar where he should cut it back. A couple more. But you think 2-0, you're like, all right, we're in control of this game. And then a bar an absolutely ridiculous strike from, what was the guy's name? Evans was the guy who hit that ball and it
I think it was.
Apart from that, they didn't really threaten you, so you thought we're in control. All right, we come out the second half and we'll just put 2 and that'll be it. Job done. Second half, absolutely appalling performance. But I'm sure we'll get into like individual stuff. Second half, I was like, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? Absolutely terrible second half.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna get into individuals and stuff, but I mentioned to you off camera a stat, and I want everybody else to listen to this stat, because we've all kind of spoken about how the service to the strikers just non-existent. Our wingers are basically Hermes because there's just no delivery whatsoever, and this stat backs it up. Rasmus Højlund did not register a single shot in the first 75 minutes of the tie. And with all due respect to Newport, right, when you're playing a team that's in, League 2 or mid-table in League 2, I believe they are, your striker, with the quality we have on the pitch, should be having about 10 shots in the first half.
Yeah.
That is a huge issue with us at the minute, Sam. Like, Anthony and Garnacho, in my eyes, extremely greedy. Their first thought has always been, where can I get this shot off? How can I get a goal in this pattern of play? And Garnacho did that quite a few times, didn't he?
Yeah. Garnacho, he's a talented boy. He's clearly got everything that you think he's going to be something special. But when it comes to when he gets to in the dangerous area, his decision is always shoot or I'm going to try something spectacular. And like 9 times out of 10, the spectacular isn't going to happen. Like we've seen it happen at Everton with the overhead kick, but it doesn't happen that often. So you have to play your percentages. It's like, right, what is the most likely chance of us scoring right now? Is it me taking a shot from a nearly impossible angle and being the man, or is it cutting it across the 6-yard box for a tap-in? That's where he's got to learn his game. He's got to learn when to take it on and be the man when he's got no other option. But then he's got to learn to then pass it to the easiest option to score a goal so you can be up ahead.
I genuinely just feel so sorry for Højlund because I'm watching him all the time. I'm watching the movement that he's making. He's getting in the right areas, and there's just nothing there. And I don't know how the wingers have managed to play, accumulate so many games before they get to a point where they realise, start passing to your fucking striker, start squaring it. Make it easier for yourself. Like, you're taking it on yourself. Anthony was a moment. I didn't think Anthony was too bad today. Obviously, got his goal on his right foot.
And an assist as well.
That I bet 365. Anthony scored his right foot would have been fucking mega rods. But it just, he had an opportunity on the right-hand side, and he goes onto his right foot, and then he cuts back again. And you can see Højlund pelting it into the 18-yard box, and you're like, just fucking square it.
He also
I think Danny Murphy, it doesn't make many great points.
No.
But he said about, when he played at Fulham with, is it Damien Duff, I think?
Yeah.
He used to be great at that. He used to just run at his man, get to the byline, and he'd loop it to the back post, or he'd drill it across. And we don't do that nowhere near enough.
You saw with Anthony as well, he can beat a man. So he'll get the ball, and he'll beat a guy, be past him, and you think, right, there's the opportunity, right foot in, and you think, he cuts back and turns around when he's just beating the guy to put back on his left. So I'm just like, what's the point? Why are you beating a guy if you're just going to cut back onto your left anyway? There's no point in beating him. It's essentially useless. And yeah, I feel bad for Rasmus, man. He's putting everything into this, and he's putting a shift on, and he's trying and doing everything else possible. And then people are like, oh, he's had no shots on goal, he's had no goal. Yeah, because he's getting zero service. Zero service. Like, literally zero service. You saw he got the opportunity right at the very end, and it was because it was ping-ponging about in the box. But he got an opportunity, he scores. Give him more of those, he'll score more goals. Like, it's that simple. And it's, yeah, I feel bad for the kid. I really do. I feel so sorry for him.
Yeah. My connection is a little bit bad at the moment, Sam. So just talk to me about the goals.
Yeah.
And talk to me about their goals as well. And I'm just going to very quickly switch the internet.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It'll be 2 seconds.
Jamie McGoggin's in the chat. I'm just going to let me just switch back to one person there. Jamie McGoggin's in the chat. I take my hat off to Hoyland because he continues to make the runs even though he doesn't get any service. I agree, mate. It's ridiculous. And then Chivy's in the chat. Shout out to Chivy. Having two inverted wingers whose favourite instinct is to cut in and shoot on their favourite foot is issue and starves Hoyland. Absolutely, mate. I could not agree more. Shah Sam, we are the pressing lot. Yeah, we never make it easy, do we? It's a terrible time being a United fan. I think when you play with forwards whose first instinct isn't the team and they are inherently selfish players, like they're there to score and to be the man. I think Chivy mentioned this in our group chat. Like Garnacho has got that Ronaldo feel about him that he's like, I have to take everything on and I have to score and just do everything. But when it comes, he's 19. I don't think he's at the level that Ronaldo was at this age. And I think when you're in a bad form and the way we're playing this season, you've just got to make it easy on yourself and just like, right, what's the easiest possibility to score here? Cut it back. Yeah, you don't get the glory. Yeah, you don't get the sort of plaudits and what have you. But you're 1 goal up, or you're 2 goals up, or you're 3 goals up. Once you're 3-4 up against the League Two side, you can start putting in those like bendy shots. You can start doing that spectacular stuff and start doing that and having fun, but get the job done first. Like, that's the most important bit. But we'll come to that once Nick comes back. But
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
he's
here,
back.
by the way.
He's back. Let me switch back. There we go. Yeah, I was just talking about the selfish wingers and reading out a couple of the chat and stuff like that. So, but yeah back to what.
No, the goals. I was just going to add on to that as well. I thought, like, after you score the first 2, you're like, all right, sweet, sit back, grab your pipe, slippers, whatever. It's going to be a comfortable night, this. And it's never, ever a comfortable night. I don't know, like you said, have you mentioned that stat about two goals up?
Yeah, I think we've chucked away 2-0 leads 4 times this season.
Yeah,
And
the one thing sticks out to my eyes, Galatasaray was definitely one of them, I remember.
Copenhagen tonight, and then we did it in the Premier League, but I'm struggling to think of the team that we did it to.
Yeah.
But we did do it to a Premier League team, so it's just like, which is ridiculous.
That's why I'm so mad. That's why I'm so annoyed. I know people say you're through to the next round. It's FA Cup. We've got Bristol City or Nottingham Forest in the next round. It's like, right, okay, that's a good run. And then you're in the quarters, semis, etc. And that's fine. But the performance in itself, I think that was way underwhelming for the players that he had. I thought Bruno and then maybe a couple of others, Kobe Mainoo was really, really good. Garnacho was threatening but was wasteful. The talent that was on the pitch, I understand there's certain players coming back, Luke Shaw's first game back, Lissandro more minutes, Casemiro. I understand it in that regard. But when you have that quality, if City started with their first team against Newport County, it'd be 6-7-0. Easy.
Yeah, Pep would be bringing on, like, who's that young kid? They've got a Bob, whatever his name, Oscar Bob.
Oh,
He'd be bringing him on. He'd be bringing on Rico Lewis and stuff. He'd be like, right, all the big guys off and we'll rotate and we'll give all these youth players minutes. We don't do that. We just we put out our first team and then we struggle to beat a League Two side. And I want to compliment Newport because they did not fucking give up. They kept fucking going, kept pushing, quality in the front line, and were pushing. And I think had they been a League One team or a Championship team, they probably would have beaten us and quite handily and quite easily with a bit more quality. They probably would have absolutely put it to us. It's only because the fact that it's a League Two team that we managed to just limp over the line towards the end, because I thought they were really good and like quality. And the guy who's a United fan, the coach, I forget his name, should be proud of like his effort there and should be proud of what he's done, because we were fucking awful. Absolutely
they'll
awful.
get back into that dressing room and the manager will be like, listen, there's no more I could have possibly asked of you guys from that game, because they went 2-0 down as well, brought it back to 2-2.
It looked like they were going to win the game. Like, they looked the more threatening team.
No, they had moments for sure. I thought one thing with the players that we had back in Shaw, Lissandro, and these guys was much more, and Casemiro and Kobe in the midfield, much more control in like kind of central areas and stuff. and they were trying to pack out the central areas. But then that's why in the first half the wingers were killing them because Garnacho 1v1, Anthony on that side was doing all right. So it seems like we have more control with them players coming back in, but I don't know if it was a case of maybe it is because of their first game back. I don't know, but you can't play like that against Wolves because they're a much fitter team. They press the life out of you. And they caused us problems in the first game in the Premier League in central areas. So I'm intrigued to see how they get on against them because watching that, I don't know about you, Sam, that doesn't give me confidence going into that Wolves game thinking, we can go put on a performance now.
You got to think as well, like the first game against Wolves, we had our first 11 in that team, like all his first choice players, and we played like shit and probably should have been 1-1 or something like that because that Onana penalty decision very.
Wolves had 25 shots in that game.
And they're on a good run at the minute. Like that Gary O'Neill's got them playing extremely well. They've got some decent players in like Neto and stuff like that. They've got
Cunha as well.
They're playing excellently. And like you've seen us when we play against Premier League opposition, we are abysmal, fucking abysmal, and it takes mistakes and sort of minor things or like moments of ridiculousness like Garnacho overhead kick against Everton for us to get a goal or to score. Like we're not outplaying teams, we're not tactically outthinking them, we're not doing any of that. It's just literally we're just taking mistakes and moments of like independent, which is what was happening towards the end of Ollie's reign, wasn't it? We were just relying on independent brilliance to get us out of games, and it only lasts so long, man. And you saw what happened to Ollie. And if Ten Hag doesn't get a hold of this, it's going to happen to him as well.
Yeah. Well, another talking point was we mentioned about players coming back in the Sandro Shaw and Casemiro, but obviously it was Bayandé's debut today. How would you assess his performance?
Decent. Made some saves, made some impressive saves. Could play out from the back. There was a couple of moments where he got the ball played back to him.
A little bit.
And he looked a little bit shaky, like Lissandro bollocked him one time when he did it. But I suppose that's to be expected. If you've been at a club since the summer and you haven't played a single game, and this is your first game, there probably is going to be shaky moments, and you probably are going to get that. But like the first goal they scored, there's nothing he can do about that. It's a wonder strike, and it takes a deflection off. Listen, you can't do anything about that. The second one is just poor defending, just terrible fucking defending, allowing it in. So yeah, I thought he was all right. He wasn't amazing, wasn't fantastic, but did all right.
Yeah, I'd probably second that. I think Onana's going to come straight back into the team, just regardless what we think.
Definitely.
Yeah, our opinion's kind of irrelevant in that sense because Onana's going to come straight back in. But he didn't do anything wrong, didn't make any mistakes, like you say. It was just kind of a standard performance, I would say, from a goalkeeper. On
that, I don't know if you're going to bring him up at some point, but like, what does Ahmad have to do to get in this team?
It's frustrating, isn't it?
What does he have to do? Like, why is he not coming on like 20 minutes from the end to cause the Newport defence problems and give him like, oh my god, this young kid pace like stuff? I don't get it.
Me and Chive and Trez before the game on the build up, we were all saying like there's some confusing things this season that I don't really understand, and they never kind of explain whether it's injuries, players not getting minutes, subs like that we're mentioning, things off the field. Like there's a lot of weird things. You're just like, why is that not like 10 minutes for Ahmad against Newport? Would that really have hurt just to see him for?
Could it be any worse?
Are you that adamant on Anthony's a signing where you're not even going to give the guy a fucking cameo?
It's not going to be any worse, is he? Like, it can't be worse. He's got 2 feet for a start. Like, he can use both his feet for a start. So I don't understand why he's not getting opportunity. Like, especially against teams like this, lower league team in a cup competition. Like, it's guilt free. Like, it's knockout football. Like, just give him an opportunity. Like, if it's against Liverpool or City, you're like, all right, fair enough. You don't want to chuck him in big games. So, but this is like prime opportunity. This is when Fergie used to blood youngsters and do stuff like this. But I don't get it, man. I really frustrated me.
It was very, very strange. Statman Dave just put something out. I don't like it when nothing against the guy, but I don't like it when he puts stats out like this. Manchester United are now unbeaten in 3 games. That is their equal best unbeaten run so far this season. A run they have been on twice more. And it's like we've just played Newport. We got a sloppy draw against Spurs where they should have punished us, and then we beat Wigan. Which even that one, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you see stats like that, it just kind of polishes a turd.
Do you remember that November thing where Maguire got Player of the Month? Did Ten Hag get Manager of the Month as well?
Yeah.
But you remember those performances? They were fucking terrible. But we went on a 5-game winning run, didn't we? Like, we won 5 games in that month. But we were terrible.
Yeah.
Like, you watch the games, we were fucking awful. No clue. So, stats, yeah, they look impressive. But, like, if you watch the games and do the eye test, like, stats sometimes are misleading. Like, quite misleading.
Sure. A couple of comments coming out from Eric Tenag saying we controlled the game. Maybe we went a little bit slower. We had a chance to go 3-0. Garnacho hit the crossbar. They had nothing, really nothing, and then they scored a goal. A couple of stats about Cambualo winning 4 out of 4 his aerial duels. People happy about Lissandro. Bruno was speaking about the game. Thought Bruno was really, really good today. That's a kind of a positive. I'm probably going to include on pros and cons. Very, very proactive as soon as he got the ball, and his spatial awareness is really, really good. He said, we have to kill the game in the first half. We had chances to make it 3-0, but when you get it 2-0 in these kind of games, everyone wants to try and score and get their goal. Sometimes we don't make the best decision. I think that's directed at Garnacho, to be honest, because he absolutely bollocked him, didn't he, when he didn't pass it. Like, that situation, you could pause that on any kind of frame, and Højlund and Bruno were both there, ready to kind of finish. Going forward now, Sam, you look at like I mentioned, touched on it before, Bristol City or Nottingham Forest, right, in the next round. Is there any more optimism surrounding yourself going into these ties, or going far in this competition at least?
No, like, we're getting lucky at the minute because we're getting favourable opposition. Wigan, League 1 team, Newport, League 2 team. Depending on what happens between Forest and Bristol. Say we get Bristol, that's a championship? Are they in championship? I'm not sure where they are.
Bristol City, I couldn't tell you. No idea.
They're not in the Premier League anyway. So that's favourable run, but I think as soon as we come up against a half decent team, say we get Forest, I think that might be the end of it. That'll probably be put the nail in the coffin and we'll be done. Like, if we get past Forest and then you get into the quarterfinals and the semis and stuff, you're facing people like City and stuff like that, and as soon as you come against a quality team, it's fucking over, innit? Like, we haven't got an opportunity against any of those teams, like the way we're playing at the minute and the sort of the mood over the club. So yeah, I expect as soon as we come up against someone a higher level than top of the championship, I think we're done.
In regards to the team overall and the performance overall, what is your kind of intuition or instinct telling you about this manager, about the way we're playing and about the players? Like, are you sat there saying, I mean, you're seeing certain things, like you question decisions like substitutions and the way we're playing and things not happening. Is that on individual players, or is that coming from the manager as well? Like, where do you think the blame kind of lies when you're watching us?
It's a bit of both, isn't it? Like, you look at the team and certain players, they clearly got there's several attitude problems going on there. Like, I don't want to get into the whole Rashford situation, but you can see what's going on there.
Yeah.
Just unacceptable behaviour. If true, unacceptable behaviour. Issues with Sancho as well that were happening. You've seen Anthony's outside things that are happening, whether they're true or not, don't know, but say they are true, that's worrying. And it's just, there seems to be very poor recruitment, and when we're looking at players and they're, stats wise and on the pitch look great, but when we're not looking into the background to these players and the personalities of these players and the mindset that they have and the sort of willingness and stuff like that, which is what Fergie used to do. He'd go speak to them, he'd speak to their families, he'd find out, okay, what are these guys like behind closed doors, what they like off the pitch, they take care of themselves, all that sort of stuff. And we're not doing that enough, so recruitment is a blame there. We've bought the wrong players for the wrong team and just it's not working. But at the same time, Ten Hag has to take responsibility for certain actions he's doing. Repeatedly picking Anthony up through via stubbornness or I don't know, mistake there, not giving chances to Ahmad, repeatedly playing Scott McTominay at times and just not, do you know what I mean? There's been stuff where you're just like baffling decisions, letting people like Alvaro Fernandez go on loan with a buy option for 6 million. You're like, why is that? I don't understand why that's gone on. Selling players for mega cheap for no reason. I don't like, there's just been stuff throughout the club and everybody has to take a portion of the blame here. Manager, board up above, and the players, they all need to take blame for this. It's not one single individual, but when it comes to football, who gets the sack and who gets the blame? It's the manager normally. Yeah. So unfortunately,
I watch this team and I'm so lost. I don't know what's like. I can't.
All fans are like that. All fans are just like, what do we do? What the fuck do we do?
It really hurts my brain to watch this team because I don't know what we're trying to do. And I think some of it's coming from the manager, like you say. I don't think his tactics are getting through. I don't think his training methods are necessarily getting the best out of the players. Man management at times sometimes has been questionable, but sometimes he's handled things really, really well. I don't think the players are taking on the instructions because you can coach a player all you want and you can say to him, look, when you get to the byline, the option's always there for Erasmus to cut it back, or you can always loop it to the back post. Yeah. He'll always be in that position, he's instructed. But if the player doesn't do it, then what do you do?
Once they cross that white line, the manager's done his job, hasn't he? Like, he can't physically do anything once the players cross over the white line and start playing. He is very limited in what he can do from that point onwards. So like you said, if they're not taking instructions or they just think... So I know there's a couple of players under Ragnick, they were just like, oh, I don't like this style, I'm just not going to bother. And you saw what happened. You saw the result of that season. They did 20 minutes against Crystal Palace. We looked fantastic, and then they went, oh, fuck this is too hard. And just fucked it off completely. So we know these players, and some of these players are still here. They're still here. So you know these players are well willing to not put in the effort and not commit 100% to something if they don't like it or they think it's not going to work. So it doesn't surprise me at all. But you're right, Ten Hag has to take responsibility for certain things. Because last season, he tried to do things, the first 2 games, didn't work, and he's like, right, I'm changing it. And this season, he's just decided, nah, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm sticking to this no matter what. And that is partly on the players because the players should be doing their jobs. But then at the same time, it's like, do you then have to adapt slightly? Because if these players are not willing to do it, I don't know. It's tricky, man. It's really, really tricky.
I feel like we have talented players. The gel's just not there. Maybe that's something to do with injuries and whatever. But we're all sat here saying, no, hopefully when Casemiro gets back and Lissandro gets back and these guys get back, we're better. It didn't seem like miles better today, did it? Even with the players back, the level didn't jump significantly. It was kind of like, okay, it was a little bit better in certain areas. But apart from that, you know, you kind of left still asking for more. Disappointing for me as a whole. I haven't got the comments in front of me, Sam. Is there anything we can read out?
Absolutely. Where are we? Jamie McGogan, Rashford needs to go. I've had enough of him. Mac 1, how many of us wanted Newport to get a draw? Fucking hell, a replay for that. Tim 99 is a real Reds ultra. Not impressed again. Yeah, I feel like you. Jamie McGogan, we're performing like a car in limp mode. Definitely not good enough. Wolves should have beat us at the beginning of the season. Yeah, I agree. Lewis in the chat, load of shite. Yeah, I agree. Chivit, and it's not like we haven't seen what Ahmad has done already. Exactly, mate. Exactly, mate. Tim 99, fairly good championship. Bristol City, they beat West Ham. So, yeah, not too bad. Mac 1, forget the manager. The players don't want to tackle fundamentals of the game. We have no hope until this changes. Shah Sam, how are the players not taking on instructions and still getting played? Is a question I'd like to ask. And then Professor Onions, great name. We are the worst in top 6 in the championship. There you go. There's the comments. Yeah,
it says a lot, doesn't it, when you've won 4-2. Looking from the outside in, you're like, oh, fantastic, through to FA Cup, proper cup tie. Well, it wasn't really. I'm kind of like still feel a bit deflated after it, especially because you've waited, you know, quite a while to watch United. There's only been one game this month for Tottenham, and then this one, and you're like, this should be a dominant display, 4-0. You know, kind of walk away. Maybe have 1 or 2 risky chances, and that's it. But it was far away from that, to be honest. I don't think we was great at all, and I think the scoreline kind of, like I said, polishes a turd. I think that's the best way to kind of describe that. I will be doing pros and cons very shortly, so that'll be out tomorrow. If you have any further kind of, I was going to say feedback then on the game or individuals, let us know who your man of the match was as well. Who is it for you, Sam, who stood out?
I'd probably give it to Bruno. I think he was important on pitch, knitted stuff together, did stuff well. I thought Garnacho was good, but I just think at the end
wasteful
and just sort of made, so I'd have to give it to Bruno. And the chat is agreeing. I put a man of the match poll up. Bruno was winning with 46%, Garnacho with 23%, Anthony with 15%. So there you go.
Yeah, a lot of work to do in the attacking areas if you want to start winning games. That's kind of what I'm left thinking, leaving, you know, kind of going into the next fixtures. But we have Wolves next on Thursday, relatively quick turnaround. And yeah, of course, we'll have the preview and stuff for that, so make sure you tune in. Apart from that, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully it's not been too long and you half enjoyed that game. And yeah, Anything else, Sam? You want to add on before we go?
No, check out Pros and Cons. Is it out tomorrow? Or are you putting it out tomorrow? Yeah, check out Pros and Cons tomorrow. Follow us all on the socials. We've got some nice little clips and stuff that Liverpool fans are getting really angry about, and I'm here for it. Absolutely here for it. So go check them out. And yeah, subscribe if you're new here or if you just found us. Let us know in the comments your man in the match and all that good stuff.
Yeah, man. Take it easy, everyone. See you soon. Peace.